Hello and welcome to the greenhouse construction video series. This is part 6. So today we're going to show you how we put on the roof and the roll-up sides. So there's several different materials that you can use for the roof of your greenhouse. For the greenhouse roof or the glazing, we considered several different materials. Here's the roofing materials that we did consider. One was glass. It's very expensive and it could be damaged by hail, but it does last a long time if it doesn't get damaged. Next is polycarbonate panels. They are also expensive. They can be damaged by hail and their lifespan is about 10 years. Alright, next is fiberglass. It's less expensive, but the hail can damage it and it lasts about 10 years. The next one was the solar wrap or Solex, and it's a mid-range price. It can be damaged by hail and it lasts about 10 years. Next is the PVC fabric. It's cheaper and the hail won't damage it, but it only lasts about 6 years. And then the polyfilm, it's the cheapest. We get no hail damage on it and it's guaranteed for 6 years, but we leave ours on our buildings for about 10 years. So because it's less expensive and will hold up to hail, this is the glazing that we chose for our greenhouse. Now the 6mm polyfilm came with the greenhouse kit, and you'll want to be sure that the polyfilm that you order for your greenhouse is at least 6mm thick and has UV inhibitors in it. You want to definitely ask if the polyfilm is made for greenhouses. Now if you just go out and buy any regular old polyfilm from the store, it'll probably be about 2 or 4 mils thick and not have the UV inhibitors in it, and it will usually only last 1 season. So we ordered the roll-up sides for our greenhouse to use as our venting system. The roof polyfilm that was sent with the greenhouse is big enough to cover the roll-up sides too. Now to install the polyfilm, we have the wiggle wire channel all around the frame, and the wiggle wire was one of the best greenhouse roof attachment systems ever made. So we used to use a different channel that we still have in some of the older greenhouses, but it's really hard to install the polyfilm and get the holders back down in. So our goal eventually is to replace all the older channel with the wiggle wire channel. So the older channels, they would actually puncture your polyfilm, and when we wanted to take the roof loose and then put it back on, it had holes in it. So the wiggle wire system, you can take the polyfilm loose anytime and put it back on without getting holes in the polyfilm. We even use the wiggle wire system to seal up the roll-up sides for the winter every year. But before we get to the roll-up sides, we need to put the roof on. Now normally we put the end walls on at the same time, but on this build we ran out of time, so we did the end walls a few days later. So the greenhouse is only going to get 1 layer of polyfilm. If you're going to do 2 layers and have a blower that blows the air in between the 2 layers, you will install the roof the same way. The only variation is that you will pull up 2 sheets of polyfilm at once instead of just 1 sheet. For the roof install, you'll want to pick a time when the wind is not going to blow for a few hours, and the best temperature to install polyfilm is when it is above 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So first we beat down the sharp edges of the frame and put 3-inch Gorilla Tape over the joint. We do this to help protect the polyfilm from getting torn during the installation. Also, if the roof is loose and flopping in the wind, the brushing action against the sharp edges can put a hole in your roof over time. Better safe than sorry. Next, we rolled out the polyfilm down the long side of the building. Then we tied our ball on a rope to the edge of the polyfilm. We use this to pull the polyfilm over the frame. So in order to do this, we throw the rope over the purlins and have it available on the far side, ready for us to pull on it. We put on 2 ropes for this 48-foot building. Now for a 100-foot greenhouse, we use 4 balls on a rope. So while 2 people are pulling the ropes to get the polyfilm over the frame, we have 1 person on the ground unfolding the polyfilm and helping to guide it up the frame poles. It's important to be gentle with the polyfilm. If it gets stuck and won't pull, loosen before continuing so you won't puncture the polyfilm. It's best if you can keep pulling the polyfilm evenly over the frame. Once the film is up, get it situated evenly. For us, we needed to have enough polyfilm to come clear to the ground on both sides so we could put in the roll-up sides. The sheet of film went over the building and down onto the ground about a foot on both sides. It was plenty big. Now for the ends, the film hung down about 5 feet, so we were good on the end walls. The next step was to secure the polyfilm so it would not slide off the building if a gust of wind came up. So what we did was to put a piece of wiggle wire on each end to just hold the polyfilm in place while we secured the long walls. For the long sides, there is a board that is about 5 feet off the ground. This is where the roof ends and the roll-up sides begin. So what we did was to put a wiggle wire channel to attach the roof to. The roll-up sides are a continuous piece of polyfilm from the roof. Now, if the roof polyfilm was just too small, we could end the roof film at this channel, then we could attach another piece of polyfilm in the same channel for the roll-up sides. You can put about 3 sheets of polyfilm and wiggle wire in the same channel. So be sure to pull the film tight but not over tight. So as the polyfilm gets warm, it will stretch, and as the temperatures drop, it will shrink. So you want the roof tight so the wind does not tear it up, but not so tight that it rips in the cold. Now that both long sides are secure, it's time to secure the roof to the end walls. So we removed the wiggle wire that was holding the roof on while we got the side wiggle wire installed. Starting on one side, we pulled the polyfilm taut and installed the wiggle wire going up over the frame to the far side. Then we did the other end. So the roof is now secured. Next, we trimmed all the polyfilm on the end walls to within about 6 inches of the wiggle wire track. The beautiful thing about the wiggle wire is that you can remove and reinstall your polyfilm anytime that you need to. So once in a while you get a hole in the film and will want to be able to adjust it just a little bit on the building. So if you leave a 6-inch tail, that will give you some material if needed. Now for the side walls, we did not trim. We installed the roll-up sides with the polyfilm that was hanging down to the ground. So first we put the roller together. It's made out of 1 1/4 electrical conduit. We pulled the polyfilm taut and laid the roller on top of the baseboard. Next we installed the clips that hold the polyfilm to the roller. Then we trimmed the polyfilm to within 6 inches of the roller. And next we installed the handle, and now we could roll up the sides. We installed a rope with 2 loops in it so we could adjust the height of the roll-up sides depending on how much venting that we wanted to do. Now the last step to the roll-up sides is to add the straps to the building. These straps hold the roll-up sides to the building so we can get a good seal. So when the sides are down, they also prevent the wind from messing up the roll-up sides. When installing the straps, it's best to roll up the side about halfway and then pull the strap tight against the roll. This seems to get the right amount of tightness to the straps so they don't flop in the wind. All right, now we have the roof installed and the roll-up sides. So the next thing that we are going to install is the end walls. So we'll be showing you the end walls and the end wall polyfilm install in the next video. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to learn more about greenhouse construction and growing in a greenhouse, go to thelivingfarm.org/high-performance-greenhouse-course, and you can use the coupon code YT Green 100 to get a $100 discount. I'll include the discount code and the link in the description below.